Is Daisuke done as a Red Sox? And is there a chance Plexico Burress will return to the Giants? Welcome to A Fan Divided. I'm Holly Mandillo, and these are two of the biggest questions being kicked around this week. Let's start with Plexico Burress. If you're a New York Football Giants fan, you were probably hoping he'd be wearing a Yankees hat as he walked out of prison on Monday, but alas, it was a Phillies cap. Does this mean that he'd rather play for the Eagles? Maybe. And I'm sure Michael Vick is a big factor in that. Chances are he'll end up a Ram under Steve Spagnuolo, but man, I'd love to see him return to the Giants. I know. In 2008, when everything happened and our season went south, I was mad. I mean, he and Manny Ramirez cost me 2 world championships that year. But, I mean, the man's paid his dues, done his time, 2 years almost in prison, a similar sentence to Michael Vick. I don't know about you, but I feel like that's just ridiculous. Alright, yes, he broke the law. He's an idiot. And he could have hurt someone else. But he didn't. And what's terrifying is that he was obviously being made an example of. Aside from that, if I were a New York taxpayer, I'd be livid. Why am I paying for this guy to be in prison? Wouldn't his time and my money be better spent with him doing community service, him mentoring at-risk youth instead of sitting in some prison cell? Regardless, it's over. And wherever you end up, Plax, I wish you the best of luck. And then there's Daisuke. He's having Tommy John surgery, his season is done, and it's quite possible his time with the Red Sox is done. If that's the case, how will he be remembered? First though, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I have a feeling that Daisuke will be back. As much as the Red Sox Nation is probably willing to pull the plug on the whole Daisuke Matsuzaka experiment, I'm not so sure that Theo Epstein is the kind of guy that likes to admit defeat. Or if he even sees it as a failure, because ups and downs aside, I'm sure the Red Sox organization on merchandising alone made out on the Daisuke deal. But if he doesn't return, more of a success, more of a failure. I was watching Intentional Talk this week. They were discussing this. It's a great show if you haven't seen it, by the way. It's on the MLB Network. Chris Rose and our buddy, the idiot, Kevin Millar. And Millar was reading this laundry list of different perks on Daisuke's contract, from car service to plane tickets to and from Japan to box seats. And Millar was like, hey, but what? Where's my fee for babysitting Manny Ramirez? Funniest thing I've heard all week. But let's get one thing clear, just in case you're watching, Kevin, and I'm sure there's no one in Red Sox Nation that would disagree with me. All of your contributions to the Red Sox are more valuable than any of Daisuke Matsuzaka's. I mean that is no disrespect to Daisuke. All the ups and downs, I think, would be viewed in a different light if it weren't for the ridiculous amount of money we spent getting him and all of the expectations we had with him coming into the Red Sox organization. He may be a victim of circumstance in that case. Now, one last note on Daisuke. A little check in the pro-Daisuke column. Once he found out that he had to have the surgery and that his season was over, he could have gone home, I guess. He could have, hung out in the clubhouse, relaxed. But no. Daisuke was on the bench, in the dugout, with his team. Perhaps he'll be there again tonight to watch his replacement, who is a replacement to no one, Tim Wakefield, as he takes on AJ Burnett, who is surging this year after a forgettable season last year. But Tim will have weather on his side tonight. It's going to be hot and humid in the Bronx, and the knuckleball should be dancing. So let's go Red Sox. Until next time, I'm Holly Mandillo, and I am A Fan Divided.